You know, this is something I wanted to get out on either Saturday or Sunday, and I opted to take time for myself because it was a nice weekend. And I wanted to catch up on some sleep. I wanted to decompress. I wanted to be away from social media and away from pro wrestling. So whether or not this is still a topical discussion and conversation, I'm going to leave that up to you. As long as my opinion and my video is out there, this is definitely something I want to keep my eyes on, and I want to keep an ear close to the ground in regards to Karrion Kross. The interview with Ariel Helwani. I thought it was a very well done interview. I think Ariel is very good at his job. You get a sense of how genuine Karrion Kross is. You get a sense of how much he cares, how much he wants to be back, how much he wants to be involved and be a part of the team. He's worked hard and he's come a long way, and he genuinely feels that he deserves a shot. And I think a lot of people think he deserves a shot. But in that same interview, I think he ultimately revealed why he isn't back with WWE. A lot of it has to do with WWE, honestly. But then his back was against the wall, and he came out and said basically why he's not back. And it was literally the only decision that he could have made in the very short window that WWE gave him to sign a new contract. We're going to go over that, and we're going to take a look back at the interview or the podcast sit-down that he did with Sam Roberts after WrestleMania, which may open up a whole new can of worms. Not really, but it only added another log to the fire as to why WWE wasn't in any rush to bring back Karrion Kross and put him where fans want him to be. We're going to go over that today right here on Off the Script. It is your Monday, August 18th, 2025. Karrion Kross sat down with Ariel Helwani, and he confirmed the reports about contracts. He talked about the documentary, and he opened up a little bit more in regards to what's going on with him that we did not get in the documentary, which I believe right now is near 800,000 views since being released to the public as of a week ago. He revealed that WWE only offered him a new deal on the Tuesday after SummerSlam. The officials also did not provide any information on how they came up with the terms for the new contract. My contract was up last week, he said. I never actually received a contract like an offer until last week. I think it was Tuesday off the top of my head. I got an offer. I wanted to know how they came to the valuation of that offer. Just wanted some information, some metrics, some analytics that's supporting how we got to this number. Karrion Kross ultimately revealed that not only were the officials unwilling to discuss the contract details with him, they also gave him only 24 hours to sign the deal. Now, Karrion Kross at 40 years old, however, he was going to go about deciding this, ultimately said, I can't sign this in the short window that you're giving me. He decided not to sign the contract, and he made the call personally with him and Scarlett, deciding that they're going to end their run with WWE. When I inquired about that, they were unwilling to provide that information and told me I had 24 hours to agree to the offer or they were going to rescind it. The next day we talk. I asked if they have the information. They don't. I said I can't make an informed decision about this contract without all the information. I'd like to keep the dialogue open. They rescind the offer, and that's actually where we are at. Now, despite the manner of his departure from WWE, Kross is not opposed to a WWE return because he wants to give the people what they want. WWE does not want to give the people what they want. They don't want to give the people Karrion Kross. Some of the key takeaways that I had to go back and listen to that I jotted down from the Ariel Helwani interview, where he talked about AEW, WWE, Paul Levesque, Scarlett, contracts, the documentary. Karrion claims he didn't receive the contract extension until Tuesday. He asked how the company came to that evaluation and was not given the information. He was told that he had 24 hours to agree or it would be rescinded, which we just talked about. Those were his quotes. Kross told WWE he could not make a decision without knowing said information, and the offer was rescinded. Karrion Kross says the WWE did not make a contract offer to Scarlett. They did not offer his wife a contract. When he asked WWE, he was told, after we deal with you, we'll deal with her. Yes, because they are to be trusted after they waited all this time and give him a contract offer for 24 hours only and tell him, if you don't sign this, we are taking it back. Yes, those are the people that you're going to trust with your wife's contract. Give me a fucking break. Karrion Kross said some higher-ups in WWE thought his post-WrestleMania 41 promo was real, and they were upset. He was under the impression that his promo had been okayed with everyone, and they all knew it was a work. One day he waited for Triple H outside of a production meeting once he found out he wasn't okay with it and explained everything to him then. These things are all kind of coming to light now. We'll get back to those 2 points in a second. Scarlett and then the promo that Triple H, obviously, according to what he said, didn't know was even taking place. Karrion Kross thinks that because of Seth Rollins' false injury and the situation with R-Truth, people don't know what is a work and what is real nowadays. That is pretty much on point. Karrion Kross said he had a gut feeling all day at SummerSlam that his match with Sami Zayn would be his last in WWE. He says, I felt it. I even had a friend tell me, maybe do something for the live crowd when you're leaving, say goodbye or something. I said, I don't want to be unprofessional. That moment, clearly by design, is for the babyface, for Sami to get everything back that we took away from him. I don't need to make this about myself right now. It is about Sami. Karrion Kross said big promotions have reached out to him since Sunday. AEW has not, though. And he's not surprised because people think his WWE exit is a work. That's not the reason why AEW hasn't reached out. I'll touch upon that in a second, too. Karrion Kross says he doesn't believe that he has a timeline, or he doesn't have a timeline on making a decision for his future. He says he's never felt this supported in all directions in his life. There is no sense of urgency to commit to anything that is not right for him currently at the moment. He would prefer to go back to WWE with Scarlett. Now, after this interview, there was a report that Karrion Kross and Scarlett are charging very high prices for independent bookings, as they should. They put a value on themselves that they feel they are worth. It is up to you to decide whether it is worth it for your business or not. A new report from the Wrestling Observer and Dave Meltzer revealed that Karrion Kross and Scarlett are asking for a very high price tag for their first appearances on the independent circuit. In the latest edition of the newsletter, Dave Meltzer reported on the initial reactions from the independent wrestling world to Kross and Scarlett becoming free agents. One person involved in independent wrestling brought up that they are charging a very high price tag. The report also noted that this same person from the independent scene is skeptical about the legitimacy of their departure from WWE, even still. After the conversation said that they weren't buying any of this, this adds to the widespread speculation among fans and some within the industry that Kross and Scarlett's contract expiration is part of an elaborate storyline or work designed to blur the lines of reality. Scarlett and Kross's contract expired on August 10th. The duo is scheduled to be at the Big Events Convention in New York on November 15th, and they will be there meeting and greeting and signing autographs for fans. I want to read you some of what he said in the sit-down interview with Sam Roberts that everyone thought was his own version of the pipe bomb. Now, he sat down, and there was a lot discussed here with Sam Roberts. Kross suggested that WWE overlooked him for the Randy Orton match in favor of TNA, then TNA champion, Joe Hendry, to create more of a viral moment. Let's talk about how awesome it is that Logan Paul just won. Let's talk about that, Sam Roberts. Let's talk about what Logan Paul represents, the shortcut. Feels so good to be here. Feels so good to be in the business. Thinking about all the funerals that I wasn't able to attend for the first 11 years in this business. All the holidays I missed. I could have just started a YouTube channel. I could have just jumped in there with AJ Styles. It feels really good, right? It's awesome. It's really good. They know because they're normal human beings and that they actually love professional wrestling. But apparently that doesn't mean shit anymore. That doesn't mean shit. All I asked Alan to do for once is to not think about just himself. Think about everyone in the back and think about the professional wrestling fans. That's all I wanted him to do. Sometimes to do the right thing, you have to do the wrong thing. But he's a narcissist, and he had to do it his way. Hey, Alan, how many more WrestleManias do you have in your system? Probably, I don't know, one? Maybe it's just the last one, and you just pissed that away for what? For your way. Thanks a lot, bud. I really appreciate it. You want to know what the best advice I ever got was? It was from Bill Goldberg, 2021, back when I was in the Twilight Zone. You know what I mean? I'm wrestling for gasoline. It was awesome. Let me tell you about it. Bill goes, hey, Kross, you know what? You remind me a lot of me. I go, I think we have different styles, Bill, but I really appreciate that. Do you have any advice for me? He goes, you know what? You just got to be a good soldier. A good soldier is what he said. So I decided to be a good soldier. And you know what happened? They released me. And then I come back. You know what being a good soldier gets everyone here? Just so in case you're wondering, you want the big scoop here? Being a good soldier gets your times cut. Being a good soldier means that people come up to you and say, hey, you got any great ideas? Yeah, here it is from Scarlett. No. That's a little too great. We're just looking for good ideas. That's for those guys over there. That's what being a good soldier is, okay? Being a good soldier is coming to your hometown where you cut your teeth. We got started and not being on the card. It's all about viral moments now. That's what it's all about, viral moments. Well, guy, everybody's been telling me that I got to become undeniable. And as soon as it happens, they ignore it and they shut it down. I never asked to wrestle Randy Orton. I never asked. That happened organically. And you ignored it for a viral moment. And good on Joe Hendry, nothing against him, but you ignored it. And the crowd told you exactly how they felt about me on SmackDown when I was eliminated from the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and you ignored it. Become undeniable, my ass. My ass. You want a viral moment on behalf of all the true fans of professional wrestling? Guy with the suit and tie in the truck, go fuck yourself. That is from Killer Kross. Fuck it. That's what he said on the Sam Roberts podcast. He went on to say that a lot of people in the WWE higher-ups, I'm assuming Bruce and all the suits and ties, they thought that what he did was real and that it was against script and against protocol. It was then, after the interview was over, that he tried to tell everybody, oh, no, I'm just working and I'm trying to make something happen here. He thought he was in a situation with AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Dropped. They didn't give a shit. They used him for when they used him for that one appearance, two appearances, and that was it. That was it. Supposedly Triple H didn't know about this. So whoever he went to go tell clearly didn't go and tell Triple H. This has probably nothing to do with where we got. It only helped aided, honestly. This is not the primary reason why he's not back with WWE. This didn't really help his favor at all. But if WWE wanted Kross back, they would have started negotiations back in January or February before WrestleMania. WWE already made a determination that they are not bringing Kross back. If they wanted to bring Kross back, they would have already sat down with him, gave him the fucking respect that he's looking for, and go over terms, conditions, pay, negotiate, go back and forth, and make a deal for both of them to come back to the WWE. They did not do any of that. They waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. I don't know what the fuck they were waiting for. In that time, you cannot blame him for going and trying to make something happen on his own. But at the same time, making something happen on your own, like this promo with Sam Roberts, and the clips on social media, and the stuff on the YouTube channel, and people starting to chant your name and wanting to see you on television, you're welcoming WWE to not bring you back. Because what you're doing is acting against the system. and that doesn't work in the WWE, then, now, and forever. Doesn't matter who's in charge. Didn't work when Vince was there, and it's not going to work with Triple H there now. Because clearly, Triple H thought this was about him. He's head of creative. This sounded like somebody that's been disenfranchised with what is going on and how he's been treated. If you're Triple H, how do you look at that any other way but Kross sitting down and blaming you for why he's not where he is? Oh, it's a work. I'm just working. Bro, they want you to work with what they give you. You just can't create something out of nothing because ultimately they will punish you. This did not do him any favors. This is not the reason why he's not back with WWE, but this did not have WWE go out there. Oh my God, we got to bring Kross back, pal. We need him on television immediately. We got a lot of money we could make with him here, buddy. No, this worked against Kross. I loved it. They might have told him that's what we need. That's the Kross we need. No, that's not the Kross that they need. That is the Kross that they need, but that's not the Kross that they want. So this obviously worked against him, and it did not do him any favors. If WWE wanted the Kross, they would have already sat down with negotiations and brought them back for whatever they wanted, and something would have been worked out. With Ariel Helwani, he basically said, they did not offer my wife a contract. WWE, they gave him 24 hours to sign a deal or not. Sign it, or it's going to be rescinded. Well, I mean, how did we get to this conclusion? Can we go and do what we did the first time around when you brought me back, sat us down, and go over the terms and conditions and how we're getting to said number to bring us back? They didn't do that. They gave him a contract within 24 hours, came up with a number. This is it. You sign it or you don't. All right, well, how did we get here? And what about my wife? It's a 2-for-1 deal. WWE saw everything that was going on. And I truly believe with the waves Kross was making, this WrestleMania promo, WWE had no choice but to use him because it started to get traction and they felt like they could make money. And then the feud with Sami happened. It didn't really go anywhere. I honestly do think that WWE tried with what was being created here, but I do think this promo with Sam Roberts and the feud with Sami Zayn did not really sit well favorably with WWE. The promo was against management, and you can tell that that was a lot of what he was feeling, man. There was a lot he let out. And that was how exactly he was feeling up until this point, man. All that shit boiled over and sat there. And it was a work, according to him. It was a shoot in the moment, but then he tried to convince everybody that he was working because he mentioned Allen, AJ Styles, Logan Paul. He mentioned all these things. There was a lot of truth in that sit down with Sam Roberts. That didn't help. The feud with Sami didn't help because there was just a lot of nothing there. If you can't have a great match and a great story with Sami Zayn, then I don't think WWE is going to give you any time at all. And I don't think they're going to be rushing to bring you back. He tried, but it ultimately did not go anywhere. WWE was just not in a rush to bring Kross back. They knew that if they brought Kross back, they'd have to bring Scarlett back. They wanted Kross, but they kind of low-key said, well, we'll bring you in and then we'll bring her in. No. At that point, WWE wanted Kross. They didn't want Scarlett. Kross made the decision within the short time frame that they gave him to ask these logical questions. Well, how did we get to this number, and what about her? This is a 2-for-1 deal. How come we're not doing the same thing that we did the last time you signed us and brought us back? Why are we doing things differently? They couldn't answer any of these questions. It's because they didn't want to answer any of these questions. They wanted what they wanted, and they threw him a fucking bone. You either take it or you don't. And he made the right decision in the moment that he was given. He stood with his wife. That's the only decision he could make. You got to look at it from WWE's perspective, too. They might not want Scarlett. They might not put a bigger number. They might not put a huge monetary value on Scarlett because all she does is stand there and look beautiful. She doesn't wrestle. She doesn't cut a promo. They don't give her any promo time, first of all. but she can speak. She's better than Maxine Dupree from what I've seen in the ring. They don't even let her wrestle. You never gave her the opportunity to be anything more than what she was. So if there's no monetary value on Scarlett, that's WWE's fault. That's them. That's on them. They could have, but they opted not to. But you can't look at Kross and say, we want you, and then we'll get back to her later. No, that's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. You want them back, you got to bring both of them back. You can't bring one and not the other, or bring one in and then bring one in at a later time. Bro, you're giving this guy fucking flashbacks to what happened when Vince fired him. Not only did they fucking take away his entire entrance, they took away Scarlett and put him in a dominatrix mask and had him job out to Jeff Hardy as the NXT champion in 90 seconds on Monday Night Raw. Do you really want to go back to that? How do you think he's going to feel after reliving the first time he got fired? Just by simply not including his wife in any of the negotiations or including her in contract talks, do you genuinely think you were going to retain the services of Kross? So to sum this all up, he made things happen on his own. Strike one. His sit-down interview with Sam Roberts. Strike two. Sami Zayn in the feud with Sami Zayn. Strike three. Now, that doesn't negate the fact that WWE, if they wanted Karrion Kross, they should have started negotiations back at the beginning of the year, before the Rumble. They didn't. Because they didn't want him. They knew then that they didn't want him. Then they should have told him, bro, listen, we're not bringing you back. When your contract's up in August, we're not going to venture and discuss anything. We're not bringing you back. We're not going to explore any more options, man. You're going to be free to go August 10th. They should have told him that then. They should have told him that. Why did you string him along all these months? What do you want him to do? He wants to be there. He wants to help. He wants to be a good soldier. He tried to make things happen on his own time. Punished. Promo. Punished. Sami Zayn. Punished. 3 strikes and you're out. All these things led to them doing what they did. August 9th. Here's a contract. There you go. 24 hours later, goodbye. Or whenever. August 3rd, that Tuesday after SummerSlam. 24 hours. Here's the contract. Well, how did we get here? What's the number? Well, how did we get to this number? And what about her? Where's her number? Where's her contract? Oh, we'll get to her later. Well, how did you get? Well, just sign it. Do you honestly feel like he was going to end up back in WWE after all this and then the level of disrespect that they gave him? And the reason is because everything that I just mentioned and the Scarlett not being offered a contract was the fucking cherry on top, bro. He's not signing a contract without his wife's name on the contract and without her being by his side. Why are we going back to doing that again? You get one, you get the other. They are a pair. They are an item. They are a duo. You cannot have Kross on television without Scarlett. You cannot have Scarlett in WWE without Kross. It works that way and that way only. I went back and forth on this. Is this a work, a shoot, a work, a shoot? This is absolutely a fucking complete legit situation. He's not back. He's not working people. He's going to the indies. He just released new theme music for what he's going to be doing on the indies. Everything that you've seen up until this point, I went back on this. I thought, like everybody else, that we're being worked. Bro, we're not being worked. This is a legit situation. Could he end up being back in WWE after making some waves? Sure. Could he sign with TNA for a cheaper value and WWE still use his services through TNA, being that WWE is just stringing fucking TNA along like the puppet masters they are? Absolutely. It's probably what they want. They don't want to pay him what he wants. They don't want to pay for Scarlett and Kross. So maybe they go to TNA at a lesser value and WWE uses their services there where they don't have to pay them. It's a possibility. Indies is probably the best road for him. AEW is not even a choice for him. I don't know what happened with Don Callis. I don't give a shit. Fuck that. None of my business, none of your business. Why would Tony Khan want to bring in anybody that has actively said, I want to be with WWE, I want to be there, I call that family, I call that home, I would like to retire in WWE. Yes, Tony Khan is going to rush out and bring Karrion Kross to AEW when his heart is not in what Tony is creating, his heart is with WWE. That would be a colossal waste of Kross's time and a colossal waste of Tony Khan's money. That's not going to happen. On top of the creative, there's so much fucking talent there that not everybody is getting television time or the amount of television time that is desired there. And plus, Tony doesn't book guys like Kross in a meaningful way. He wants his fucking 5'5" indie midgets that can do flips and dives and go fucking 45 minutes on fucking Dynamite and give you graps. Kross is not that. Kross is not for their audience. Kross is not for Tony Khan. Tony Khan doesn't know how to book anybody with the size and stature of a Karrion Kross. He might give him the creative freedom. How much of that is going to be seen and how much of that is going to be relayed to us fans through Dynamite and Collision? Probably nothing. He's not going there. That is an absolute waste of everybody's time. He's not going to actively bring in anybody that has already said, well, my heart is in WWE. Not going to happen. I want Kross back. I would love to see him get what he deserves. Good on him for standing on his morals, and good on him for standing next to his wife in this. Because everything that WWE has done has driven him to do, whether it was right or wrong, it's up to the person looking at it and reading it, man. It's in the eye of the beholder. You see it how you want to see it. But he was driven to do this because he just wants more. Who doesn't want more if you're him? He's 40 years old. He knows time is running out. He wants to maximize what he has in this business when he has it. And he's not getting it, so he tried to make it happen on his own. And WWE punished him for it. He was driven to do and say the things that he did and said. WWE punished him for it. He tried, and then they ended up disrespecting him and his wife in the process. I guarantee you, if anyone is in this position, the way that it was for him, a lot of you would have probably done the same thing that he did. A lesson learned, I guess. Hopefully he makes the waves that he is making now on the indies. Hopefully he continues that momentum on the indies. And hopefully WWE sees that they could really make some decent money and create some great stories with Killer Kross on WWE television. I hope. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I think WWE is solid in their decision. Thank you guys very much for a great video. Thank you guys for the great support this month of August. If you did enjoy today's video, please hit that thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're feeling about this. Do you care? Do you not care? Do you want to see him back? Would you rather see him on the indies? How do you feel about the situation and what was said on the Ariel Helwani podcast last week? Sound off in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And go check out all the great content on the channel, especially Friday's video where we talked about TNA, the TV deal that they may be getting with a WWE partner to go head-to-head with Dynamite on Wednesday nights. And my thoughts and process behind why this is happening and what the real reason is why WWE is counter-programming all of AEW and trying to get AEW week by week just less and less as to what they are now. So make sure you guys go check that out. And I'll be back tonight live for Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. Remember, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you live tonight on YouTube for the Monday Night Raw post show on OTS. I'll see you guys later.